the government has successfully reformed the economy to avoid the pitfalls of a bankrupt nation. Minister in the Prime Minister's department, Dato Sri Idris Jalla, who once said Malaysia could go bankrupt by 2019 if it does not cut spending, is now singing a different tune.
When I famously stood and said the country would go bankrupt in 2018, I remember everybody will go excited. You remember at that day, there are two things that didn't happen. At that time, we didn't have the ETP. We didn't have that. We only had an understanding of needing to reduce our government expenditure. And my view was we had to cut our expenditure. Our subsidy was a big one.
Pemandu polled 120,000 public respondents, and 2/3 of them agreed to slash subsidies, but slowly and over the course of several years.
We began by increasing the price of petrol and diesel. We did it 2 times, 5 cents and 5 cents. We also taruh sugar. We actually had the difficulty implementing many of them because there's a rising concern in Malaysia, starting last year, on increasing costs of living.
With the transformation programs put in place, Idris says the government implemented several measures to remedy the rising cost of living. Some of the measures include the Bantuan Rakyat One Malaysia, book vouchers for students, opening up of Kedai Rakyat One Malaysia, as well as the Menu Rakyat One Malaysia.
That when I made the prediction that we will go bankrupt in 2018, we didn't have the ETP. The good news today, we have ETP and it's growing. The successes that we have on the top line is good. Our income is the highest in the history of Malaysia last year.
The subsidy rationalization, he says, will continue to reduce spending and wastage.
A lot of our sugar that we subsidize ends up being exported outside Malaysia. Same with our diesel also. We subsidize even our rice also. We subsidize cheap rice.
Responding to a question about improving taxi services in the Klang Valley, Idris says the current business model is being examined.
The Malaysian attitude is they want things to be very cheap, but they want highest quality. Taxi fares in Malaysia is very cheap. Some of us, at some point, when I ask you when we make the changes in the future, when we want to increase the taxi fare, please support us. Because you cannot have good quality service without paying.
He says the reform would take a while, but the objectives would be achieved.